Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost. I'm on the seafront, it's a beautiful day again. It's a Blu-ray release Monday, but you all know that. Gonna head up to HMV, see what is out. I'm only after one title today. Gonna grab a coffee as well. It's gonna be a long video because on Friday I went to Comic-Con up in London, did some filming. Also I've got a trade package from Mike in Chicago to show you. I've got a film from Dazzler Media to review, and I've got some subscriber mail as well as the pickup as well. So it's gonna be quite a long conclusion. So no more chitty chat, let's get up to Costa, get a coffee and then head into HMV, and I'll see you all in the conclusion. So I'm currently sat outside Costa Coffee on Western Road in Brighton waiting for Churchill Square to open. My only complaint about Costa has to be the noise. It's like drinking a coffee on a building site. Even sat outside you can still hear them hammering away inside. Okay, that's better. HMV is now open. There's not many out today, maybe 10 titles. They're advertising an album by PJ Harvey in the window. Not sure who that is. And what's this over here? Cosmo the Space Dog. So the big title today is Scream 6. There's quite a few versions of this. We've got the regular Blu-ray here for $14.99. Comes with a lovely glossy slipcover. Also, we have the DVD, which also comes with a slipcover. This is priced at £9.99. Then there is the complete 1 to 6 box set on Blu-ray. That is going to set you back £49.99. Comes with a slipcover. Or you can go for the DVD box set 1 to 6, and that's going to set you back £34.99. I'm going to talk about this film a little bit later in the video. Here is the HMV exclusive 4K with alternate slipcover and art cards, and that's going to be priced at £24.99. And last but not least is the double set on 4K of Scream 5 and 6, and that is going to set you back £34.99. And also out today is the remastered release of Avatar. I didn't think the original release had a bad picture at all, but here it is anyway. No 3D though. This is priced at £12.99, and in case you are wondering, yes, the cover does match the slipcover. And of course, to go with that, they have released the 4K version as well, but this will cost you £22.99. Next is The Italian Job on 4K, heist movie from 2003. Very good cast, including Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron and Edward Norton. This one's going to set you back £22.99. Next is a third window release of Hiroku the Goblin, a Japanese horror film from 1991, directed by Shinya Sakamoto. This will cost you £17.99, comes with a 15 certificate. Next is the standard Arrow release of David Cronenberg's surreal drama Naked Lunch. This 2-disc set will set you back a reasonable £14.99. Next is Circus Tent, a 1978 Indian drama. It's about a circus that pitches up in a quiet village, and they used footage of actual villagers who had never witnessed such an event like it before. This is priced at £17.99. Well, last week you may recall we had Non Non Boyori released. This week we have Non Non Boyori Repeat Season 2. This is the continued story and is priced at £29.99. Next is Love Me, Love Me Not, the standard edition. The limited edition came out in November last year, and this animated rom-com will set you back £14.99, and that is cheaper than what Amazon are charging. So next is Punk Samurai, which includes a 66-minute making of, stage greetings, interview and trailer. This action drama is £17.99. Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost. It's Friday morning and the sun is out and the birds are singing, and I'm on my way to Comic-Con in London. So I'm going to grab the train. I'm not after any autographs. I'm going to look around, have a look at the stalls, see if there's anything that takes my fancy, and then I'll grab as much footage as I can while I'm there. So hopefully there's enough to put into a video. I'll see you all up there in a bit. So at the moment there's some disruptions going on with the trains, but my train thankfully is on time. I should imagine it will be quite full. Well, there was a huge crowd behind me running for the train because it was delayed, and just trains are scarce, so it's going to be every man for himself.
strength.
Hey everybody, welcome back. There's quite a few to get through today. I've got a parcel here from Chicago. Mike over at Movie Edge. I'll put a link to all the channels down below. Jamie Powell sent me this film. I've got a new pickup and I've got a movie to review from Dazzler Media. So there's quite a few to get through. So I'm going to crack straight on with it. Okay, so before we get onto the movies, I'm going to show you what I picked up from Comic-Con. Okay, first item, I'm going to have to take my glasses off for this, and it is a prop from The Mask. It is The Mask. Loki's mask. Click on so I can see it. Yeah, it's got a strap on the back so you can actually like wear it if you do. But I'm going to get like a mannequin head and strap that on so it can be on display. It's a nice little item. It's quite sturdy. Feels like it's made of resin. Wouldn't want to drop it. It'll break probably. But I had no idea I was going to buy it. I had no intentions of buying this. So I saw it and I thought, yes. I've seen other people pick these up in the past, and I thought that's a nice little item for the movie room. So that's that one. That's The Mask. Okay, next item, and I've had to remove my rings to put these on. It is, and I'm not sure actually where I'm going to put these or how I'm going to display them in the movie room, but they are Wolverine's claws. So there you go. That's those. They're plastic. There you go, Wolverine's claw. Impulse buy. No other excuse for it. And they came in this lovely box. Also picked up this beanie hat. It says Quint's Shark Fishing, Amity Island. That'd be good for the winter. It does get cold down here on the coast. And I've also got a baseball cap, but I'm not going to show it yet. I'm going to show it in a video a little bit further down the line because it is relevant to something that's coming out a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to start with Mike's parcel from Chicago. Wrapped up really well by the looks of it. I've taken off the address label. I'm going to crack this open now, quickly go through the titles, show you them. I think there's a few in here I don't want to show though because they're for other people. So I'll open it, show you the titles, then I'll cut, go and do a little bit of research, and then I'll come back. Good Lord, Mike, you have really wrapped this well, I've got to say that. So finally getting through the bubble wrap and sellotape, I'm going to have a look, see if there's a note inside. So there is the note. Read along with me. It says, "Greetings Alan from the other side of the pond. Sorry for taking so long sending this package out to you, but I compensated you with movies I know you didn't have in your collection yet." Are you sure? Okay, I hope you enjoy everything that's in the package. Your friend Mike, Movie Edge. Please forgive my atrocious handwriting. Nothing wrong with that handwriting, Mike. Let's see what he sent me. Okay, so I know by the borders on some of these are for other people, so I'm not going to show those. So I'll get these out. Okay, so I've removed 4 that are for other people. Just put them to one side. And here we go. What do we got first? We have The Cheap Detective. Didn't know he was sending that. Peter Falk. I'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail in a second. Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain. Okay, let's have a look at that. It says Region A locked, but it's from Mill Creek, so it probably isn't. I'll check it anyway, but okay, we'll come back to that one in a second. Oh, The Last Blockbuster. Okay, yeah, this is a documentary. Okay, put that to one side. Nice. Toy Story That Time Forgot. We never got these in the UK, so brilliant. Okay, it's one of the specials. Fantastic. The Freshman, Marlon Brando, Matthew Broderick. It's in one of those sort of VHS cassette slips. Okay, fantastic. Oh, another one, Toy Story of Terror with a Slippy Slippy. Okay, brilliant. This is great because we don't have these over in the UK. Oh, one more. Ooh, yes. Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Brilliant. Okay, you've been after this for a while. Right, I'm going to go do a little bit of research on the films. I'll give you a little bit more in-depth view of them, and then I'll come back in just a second. Okay, first title is The Freshman, a crime comedy from 1990. Wow, 34 years old now. Written and directed by Andrew Bergman, who wrote the screenplay for Blazing Saddles, and this stars Academy Award winner Marlon Brando, the Godfather himself. He's playing Carmine Sabatini, and coincidentally in the film references are made that Isose looks like the Don, and furthermore it's claimed that the Godfather movie in character is actually based on Carmine. Also stars Matthew Broderick as a young student called Clark Kellogg, who is new to New York, and he's offered a job working for Carmine, actually by the person who stole his luggage, and his job is to run errands, and he's approached by two so-called agents who explain that Carmine is mafioso and he's running a restaurant where he serves up endangered species for exuberant prices. Meanwhile, Carmine's daughter Tina has got the hots for Clark. Tina Sabatini is played by Penelope Ann Miller, who you may know from Kindergarten Cop. She was that little boy's mother. Music in this is from David Newman, who has an impressive resume. He made the scores for Bill and Ted, Galaxy Quest, Mighty Ducks, Jingle All the Way, and many, many more. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 42 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The slipcover and the cover have a different image, and that image from the slipcover has been put onto the disc. So that was The Freshman. Okay, next one is The Cheap Detective. It's a crime comedy in the style of Murder by Death, which was from 1976. This one's from 1978, stars Peter Falk. He was actually in both. In Murder, he was Sam Diamond. In this, he's Lou Peckinpah, but he's kind of channeling up Humphrey Bogart. The story is about a bunch of crooks that are looking for a priceless diamond in the shape of an egg, and it's got quite a cast in this. You've got Anne Margaret from Bus Riders Back in Town and Viva Las Vegas. You've got Marsha Mason from The Goodbye Girl, which was written by Neil Simon, as was this. You've got David Ogden Stiers from MASH. He was Major Charles Winchester III. James Cromwell, brilliant actor. He's been in everything, really, from The Green Mile to Star Trek First Contact. Phil Silvers in a very brief appearance. You've got Stockard Channing from Grease. Louise Fletcher from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where she was Nurse Ratchet. And you've got Dom DeLuise and a few others as well. It's a fun movie. It's got elements of Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon. Directed by Robert Moore, who directed this, Murder by Death, and the romantic comedy Chapter 2, which is also written by Neil Simon. And it starred Marsha Mason as well. It's got a runtime of just 92 minutes. Let's take a look inside. And that front cover image has been put onto the disc, and I've just noticed that this is an unofficial release, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Good film. Don't mind it if it hasn't got an official release. So that was The Cheap Detective. Okay, next one to show you is Toy Story of Terror. It's a Halloween special from 2013. I don't think it's ever been shown on terrestrial TV in the UK, not to my knowledge anyway. Tom Hanks is back as Woody, Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, Joan Cusack as Jessie. You got Don Rickles as Mr. Potato Head, Wallace Shawn as Rex. There's a new face of the franchise, and it's Carl Weathers as Combat Carl. As for the story, well, it's horror related from the toys' point of view. They're in a motel room, and the reason why is not important. The fear comes from an iguana called Mr. Jones, who's voiced by D. Bradley Baker, who's worked on so many things, from Space Jam through to Star Wars. He's creeping into the rooms, taking toys for its owner to sell on eBay. So sinister stuff. It's directed by Angus MacLane, who's made that Disney Lightyear film recently, and it's got a runtime of just 21 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so the image on the slipcover has the same as the cover, and it's very embossed, this slipcover. Very nice indeed. And that cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was Toy Story of Terror, and as you can see on the back, it comes with quite a few extras. Okay, to go along with that, Mike has sent me Toy Story That Time Forgot. This is a Christmas special from 2014. Again, you got the whole gang back. You've got Woody, Buzz, Jessie, Rex, Mr. Potato Head, all the usual suspects that you're going to find in the Toy Story presentation. This time they're joined by two new characters, Reptilius Maximus, voiced by Kevin McKidd, and Angel Kitty, voiced by Emma Huddock. Kevin is Dr. Owen Hunt in Grey's Anatomy, in case you're wondering. Story this time is about an over-enthusiastic toy who isn't aware he's an actual toy, but like Buzz was in the first movie, and he's subsequently taught to ignore his instruction parameters and just be the toy for his chosen child. Plus you've got this whole subplot involving a dinosaur that isn't happy the way she's played with at first. Don't worry, it all comes together in the end. Directed by Stephen Purcell, and I think this is his first directing job. He has written and provided voice work for Disney on numerous occasions though. This one's got a runtime of 22 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was Toy Story That Time Forgot. Next one is Olaf's Frozen Adventure. This one I've been after for quite some time. It's a Christmas special, came out 6 years ago in 2017. Got the voice talents of Josh Gad as Olaf, who is the enchanted snowman who is as dumb as a bag of rocks. He's joined by Christian Bell as Princess Anna, Idina Menzel as Princess Elsa, Jonathan Groff as Kristoff, and new voice to the franchise, John Delancey as Mr. Olsen. Now, the story centres around Christmas traditions and the fact that the sisters, princesses, don't have any because Elsa and Anna were isolated as children. Olaf goes in the village, house to house, trying to get inspiration for his sisters. Being a buffoon that he is, he accidentally sets fire to his car and he has to be rescued. In the meantime, the sisters record tradition of their own at Christmas. Not going to say what it is. Safe to say it's all good in the end. Got a short runtime, 22 minutes. I've got to say the animation quality on this and the Toy Story films are as good as the feature films. Let's take a look inside. This one came with a Blu-ray and a DVD. So that was Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Next one's a documentary called The Last Blockbusters. It's a title that speaks for itself really. It charts the rise and fall of the most successful video rental store of all time. They went from strength to strength at first, but unfortunately they fell victim to the up and coming Netflix, Redbox and video streaming services. Now this is going to appeal to a person of a certain age that can remember Blockbusters in its heyday. I certainly can. They were absolutely everywhere. They had 9,094 stores employing over 84,000 people. Now there's just one store left in a place called Bend, which is in Oregon, which became the 33rd state of America in 1859. Anyway, this is narrated by Laura Lapkus from The Wrong Missy and Orange is the New Black. Fingers crossed this store will stay open and remain trading for years to come. I recently went to Bristol where the oldest video store in the world was located in a place called Christmas Steps. They've been there since the summer of 1982. This has got a runtime of 86 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Before we look inside, look at that there. That's printed on, but it's a little sticker that you would find in Blockbusters. Be Kind, Rewind. This is going to be really nostalgic for me. 2 discs, and they're using the font from Blockbusters as well. Cannot wait to check this one out. So that was the documentary, The Last Blockbuster. Okay, next and last in this parcel that I can show you, anyway, is Gold Digger's Secret of Bear Mountain, an adventure film from 1995, set in 1980, directed by Kevin James Dobson, and it stars Christina Ricci and Anna Klumsky, and they are unlikely friends in a small town of Wheaton, which is in Washington, which was the 42nd state to be solidified in 1889, just 10 years before my grandmother was born. Anyway, Christina is playing Bethany Easton. She's just moved to this small town with her mother. Mother's widowed, and at first Beth's not happy about being there. She misses the city life, but she becomes friends with an outcast called Jodie, played by Anna. She's got a bit of a reputation of being a troublemaker, a bit of a liar. Nobody believes her. Jodie's got this adventure planned she's discovered in a book that speaks of a treasure that's hidden inside Bear Mountain, which I've actually checked. It's in North Cascades in the national park. The treasure was put there by a prospector called Molly Morgan when she was a young girl. She's an old woman now. And there's this subplot about Jodie's mum's abusive boyfriend and drunken mother, who happens to be friends with the local sheriff, Matt, played by Brian Kerwin. You'll know him if you saw him. This looks like a lot of fun. I like these kind of adventure films from this period. It's got a runtime of just 93 minutes. Take a look inside. So a completely different image on the disc. You've got Anna Klumsky and Christina Ricci, and they look very young in that picture. So that was Gold Digger's The Secret of Bear Mountain. So that was awesome, Mike. I've also got the others that I can't show because they're for other people, but I really appreciate that. You are a star, and I will send your parcel out in a day or two. Next film was kindly sent to me by Dazzler Media to review on my channel, so a huge thank you to them, especially to Mike for arranging this. I really do appreciate it. They put out some great content over the years, films and TV shows. The one they've sent me is The Laureate. It's a biopic drama telling the story of Rupert Graves, who was an author and wartime poet. Born 1895, died 1985, so he lived to be 90 years old. Rupert's being portrayed by Tom Hughes, and you may know Tom from The Discovery of Witches, where he played Kit Marlowe. Great show that was. Now, his wife and illustrator of his books is Nancy Nicholson. You see, she kept her maiden name, and she's being played by Laura Haddock, and you may know her as Meredith Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the film opens in Oxford, 1928, where Rupert is wrongly declared dead on the battlefield by the military of defence, and a telegram is sent to his mother telling her so. When he returns home, he's suffering from shell shock, and he realises that poetry really isn't earning enough money, and he's forced to look for work at the local school as a teacher, which he doesn't actually follow through on. You see, the couple discover this new poet from America called Laura Rydin, who's being played by Diana Agron, and they almost immediately invite her to move in to their home, much to the dismay of his parents. His father Alfred's being played by Julian Glover, and you'll know him as the baddie who seeked the cup of Christ in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Well, as you can imagine, these very young, good-looking people start to take things a little bit further, and it's not long before they're at it like rabbits, and they ramp things up. They bring in a fourth member to their family of ill repute, a man called Geoffrey Phibbs, being played by Farfree. Now, Geoffrey is a fellow poet from Ireland, and he makes things a little bit more complicated, but I'm not going to say much more than that. This was an eye-opener. If you like what goes on behind closed doors biopics, then you will enjoy this. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 42 minutes, and the story did not drag at all. Excellent performances throughout. Let's take a look inside. So the image from the front cover has been put onto the disc. So that was The Laureate. So thank you, Dazzler Media. This was an eye-opener. Really do appreciate it. Okay, next film is an animated movie sent to me by my good friend Mr. Jamie Powell. Very kind of you, mate. Really do appreciate that. And it is Pompo the Cinephile, written and directed by Takayuki Haro. The movie is actually starting halfway through as a nod to Martin Scorsese, as a director is a big fan of his work, and it follows the character of Pompo, who is voiced by Konami Kohara. She is a producer of B movies. I got to point out she's a very young character to be such a prolific producer in the film. Maybe competition was a bit scarce, he said in a non-patronising way. Actually, the film does explain that Pompo's granddad is a top producer, and when he retired, she inherited all his connections and talent. Anyway, she wants this new film to be made and directed by a good friend, Gene Finney, who is voiced by Hiroya Shimizu, and not only that, she also wants an A-lister, self-proclaimed best actor in the world, Martin Braddock, to star in it, and he is voiced by Akira Kakuyama. It's not all plain sailing for Gene. This is set in a fictional town of Nollywood, movie capital of the world, and the film is a film being made within a film. Very enjoyable. Oh, there's also a message in the movie that films longer than 90 minutes are a little bit too long and boring. It's got a runtime of exactly, you guessed it, 90 minutes. Oh, plus 4 minutes of credits. Oops. Let's take a look inside. Before I show you inside, look at that parcel he sent me. This is a really nice box, but it says, Cowabunga Kermit, hope you enjoy Flash Gordon. All my love, Jamie and Katie. Flash Gordon. Crap. Well, the image from the front cover has been put onto the disc. And there is a reversible cover, which I actually prefer. I did watch this film and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was Pompo the Cinephile, and I apologise if I butchered anybody's name during that presentation. Okay, next and last is a new title which came out today. It is Scream 6, slasher horror from this year, co-written by James Vanderbilt. And I mention him because he wrote the screenplay for David Fincher's brilliant movie Zodiac, but on the other hand, he also wrote the screenplay for Independence Day Resurgence, so a little bit unbalanced. Now, before I give you the cast, I'm going to point out that Neve Campbell's character, Sidney Prescott, has not been reprised, simply because Paramount Pictures are too tight and they didn't offer enough money for the job. Shame on them, but good for her. Her character is referenced in the movie though. No longer set in Woodsboro anymore, it's now in New York City, so a few changes in the movie. You've got the sisters Samantha and Tara. They've returned from the last film and they've relocated to New York. Unfortunately for them, Screenface has as well. Sam's played by Melissa Barrera, who you might know from In the Heights, and Tara's played by Jenna Ortega from X and Netflix's show Wednesday. Great show. Now, moving out of Woodsboro and setting it in New York City apparently works for the movie. It's set to have opened it up, and the use of locations really add to the atmosphere. The scene on the subway train and the supermarket apparently really stand out. Now, despite the change of locations, it doesn't take anything that works for the franchise. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Courtney Cox actually is back as Gail, underused apparently, and Kirby Reed is back as an FBI agent, despite everybody thinking she died in Scream 4. This got a runtime of 122 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the slipcover and the cover have the same image, and there is a plain blue disc. So that was Scream 6. So before I go, a huge thank you to Jamie Powell for sending me Pompo the Cinephile, and a huge thank you to Mike over in Chicago, Movie Age, for sending me a trade parcel, and a huge thank you to Dazzler Media for sending me The Laureate to review on my channel. So that was it. Have you seen any of those or plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment, and do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free, why wouldn't you? On that note, all it's said to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.